This is unlike any tier list that you've ever seen before, because this is a RIZZ operator tier list. We're going to be ranking just how much RIZZ every operator has, starting out with an operator that I think arguably has the most amount of RIZZ out of any operator in Rainbow Six Siege, and that is Bandit. Bandit, solid S tier. I think anybody that knows Bandit's lore, has seen his elite skin, or has just played the damn character, would probably know that if you were trying to get Bandit and go to a club, and you were trying to like help him get somebody that he could go home with that night, I don't think he'd need much help. And that's how we're going to be ranking the rest of these operators, is how much I'd need to help them to get their foot in the door on a date. Because the more RIZZ they have, the more I can just sit back and watch them and do their magic. And somebody who I'm gonna have to help a lot because they have absolutely zero fucking RIZZ would be Ash. Ash has anger issues. Pretty apparent. Somebody else who I think has insane anger issues that all of you will agree with is Clash. Now, these two operators, when it comes to RIZZ, I just cannot see myself letting them go in a club and fights not breaking out. I just can't see it happening. They actually have the opposite of RIZZ. So instead of being able to get people to like them, all they do is get people to hate them. In the Ash cinematic, she was literally punching Callie in the face, starting an entire war, and is the reason that multiple people have joined Nighthaven. And then Clash, have you heard her fucking voice lines in game? I mean, what's going on? Anyways, definitely F tier RIZZ for me. And my name is Alka, but I am known as the RIZZ professor in some states. So I think I'm inclined to know what I'm talking about. Somebody who I do think would have amazing RIZZ, though, would be Blackbeard. I don't think Blackbeard is quite Bandit's type level of RIZZ. It's arguable. If there was a rank in between A and S, Blackbeard would probably go there. But, I mean, Blackbeard, come on. He's got the beard. I mean, are you kidding me? You can see I'm trying, but it ain't nothing compared to this man. This man, like, if I brought him to a club, he could show up in a t-shirt, and he'd be fine. He'd be absolutely, he wouldn't even have to talk. He'd have 3 bitches just, it's Blackbeard. What do I gotta say? Have you seen his elite skin? Oh my goodness! If I were gay, I'm not gay. Anyways, next operator. We're gonna go over somebody who's kind of middle of the pack RIZZ, to be completely honest. And that would be Hibana. I think Hibana is a B tier. Hibana was seen to be dating Pulse at some point, so you know that she has some sort of RIZZ to be able to do something with a relationship. But the fact of the matter is, that's not a thing anymore, is it? They broke up, right? Yeah, so obviously not that much. And wait, I don't know. I don't see her having that much, but enough to get a relationship, so middle of the pack. Somebody with a bit less luck, though, would be Mute. Now, if you've ever heard anything about Mute, you know that Mute is kind of just a nerd. He's the youngest Rainbow Six Siege operator in all of Siege. At least he was for a time. I don't know if that's the case now. But his entire thing is that, like, he's one of the smartest Rainbow Six Siege operators that is there. And all he does is look at technology and look at screens and try to, like, hack new devices and stuff like that. So because of that, I'm kind of just gonna assume that he doesn't really know how to talk to women. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. That I just feel like that's kind of the case. We might move him up to D tier compared to some other picks, actually. But I cannot put him any higher than, like, C compared to these operators. And somebody that is actually in that category that I think deserves to be pretty high on the list is Warden. I mean, come on. He's got the Rolly on his wrist, the Cartier frames. Mine might be only a little measly $70 or $80, but that man worked for the Secret Service. I know he's got money, he's got clothes, he's got style, and he's got a nice-ass tie, and I think that can get him in the door very nicely. I mean, the way he holds his gun when he runs around, are you kidding me? This man's got RIZZ. That's all I'm saying. I think anybody who disagrees has not played this man once in the game. Another pretty underrated pick that I think should go for at least A tier, but I'm going to put an S tier RIZZ, would actually be Maestro. I mean, look at his profile picture as an operator. He's standing, I mean, it's just aura. It's just aura all around. He's standing on top of a box. He's got a cigar in his mouth. He's smiling. He just lets the cameras do the work. He lets the lasers do the talking. If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. Yes, sir. He's got RIZZ, bro. Listen. Don't hate me. Just It's what it is. I'm not even going to talk any further on it. Just look at the PFP. Look at the accent, the confidence that comes with him. I think he's alright. I think he's good. Someone with a bit less luck, though, would be, in my opinion, Pulse. I mean, Pulse is the same thing as Hibana, where it's like they were in a relationship at some point. I don't know if they are now. They don't seem like they have that much Rizz. I will say Pulse's Elite Skin animation, where he combs the hair back, kind of gave him some aura points. But other than that, I cannot really rank this operator much higher. I'm going to be completely honest. When I go for those threes, you know what I'm saying? Or if he's trying to go for them threes, it would be a little hard for me to go ahead and hit the alley-oop and try to hit it if he, you know, hit the backboard. So, not really the best offensive teammate, but still a lot better than some operators that we have on this list, like Nook. Honestly, I think I'm going to make D tier the awkward silent person category. They could have Rizz if they want to, but they're just so awkward and nerdy that I don't think that it would actually go anywhere. And the next person there would probably be Wamai. I mean, Wamai's entire thing is that Wamai is like a soldier that was like a super soldier that only trains. That's like their only personality trait. Turborao, same thing. I don't really know enough about Turborao to like know if he's good on a two-man mission. I just don't know. I just don't know enough about them. And then the tier above, another operator that I really just don't think has that much Rizz would be Sentry and Striker. I will say, because nobody knows much about them, they do have the mysterious factor, but that's about it. They're new recruits, so that's just minus 3,000 aura off the gate, and they don't really have any originality. All they do is bring secondary devices, so that's also, you know, more minus aura points, but they don't have their identity revealed, you know what I'm saying? They're recruits now, but they could be something good in the future. We don't know what's in store for them. That's the only reason why I'm not putting them in F. And somebody that I definitely do think belongs in F would probably have to be Finka. I mean, if you take one look at this operator, you see the scar, you see that insane haircut, they just seem abrasive. They don't seem like they give a fuck about love or anything of that sort. So the Rizz aura just is not there. If anything, it's actually like the complete opposite. I want to not be in the same room as this person at all, and I don't think that anybody that I were trying to help them get with would either, to be completely honest. Now, C tier, I haven't really talked about, and that's because C tier is a special tier. C tier is filled with people who I think had Rizz when they were younger, but now they're literally just kind of old. So I don't think that they have that much Rizz. And that would be Zero, Sledge, Thatcher, Deimos, and Grim. Now I know what some of you diehard lore fans might be saying. Sledge is not that old. Here's the thing. He kind of acts like it. Have you heard him use a sledgehammer? He makes a sound whenever he uses his sledgehammer. He's kind of an old head at heart, even if he's not truly that old. He's also completely bald. He's also just kind of in that group of SAS operators like Thatcher, where it's like they're kind of all just old SAS Brits. So I just don't think there'd be that many aura points. Now I do think one thing. There is one person that is slightly older than the other people that I do think would actually have insane Rizz, and that would be Cade. Now the question here is, do I put Cade in A or do I put K in S? You know what? I'm putting Cade in S, and I'll tell you why. Have you seen that man's elite animation? Oh my goodness. It does not get more, like, Rizzonomics than that. I'm not gonna lie to you. As a professor, I do know what I'm talking about. He's got the technique of a god. He was the Michael Jordan in his prime, as you can see by his elite skin and how he looked like when he was younger. And now that he's retired, like I said with Warden, man, he's just got that shit on, bro. Have you seen his wrist? Have you seen the hat? The mustache? It's all there. The scoped pistol? The journal? Oh my god. It's just... it's all coming together! It's all there. I don't know what else to tell you. Somebody else who I definitely think has it all there that nobody didn't see coming. Need I say more? Next operator, Lion. I think Lion is a kind of an underrated pick. I think Lion could go solid A tier. Lion doesn't really have the swag points, the drip, as much as I would say as an operator like Bandit, Warden, or Maestro would have. But I do think, I mean, he's got the personality of a lion, bro. What more can I really say about that? I mean, have you seen the Leon S. Kennedy skin, bro? Keep it real. Keep it real. I'm pretty sure, like, in the lore, he also pulled, like, a lot. So, I know for that much that he actually has feats. He has the track record to prove that he's been in the game. He's got at least an 80 overall in stats. Like, it's kind of crazy. So, definitely a solid A tier pick for me. Somebody else who I think is a solid A tier pick for me would actually be Thermite. He's a little old now, but you could kind of tell when he was back in the day. I mean, the haircut, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make a really big fucking hole. If that voice line doesn't tell you what it needs to tell you, then you got a lot in store for this video. Next up on the list, another hard breacher that's well known, Ace. Now, Ace, I keep bringing it back to elite animations because it's kind of the only time that you can see people's true personality. When it comes to pure RIZZ, his elite animation is the best. Let me tell you what this motherfucker does, right? He has a tripod set up because he's a social media influencer, right? It's part of his lore. He slide cancels into frame. Editor, please put this on the screen. He slide cancels into frame, shoots a guy, shoots another guy, stands up, dodges a grenade, shoots another guy, and tells the bitches that are watching to call him dead homies. It doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than that. I swear to God, it does not get better than that, bro. Like I said, the criteria for somebody who goes higher or lower on the list is how much I would have to help them if they were trying to pull baddies and I was their wingman, right? And if I was Ace's wingman, he wouldn't need a wingman. I wouldn't exist. All I'm saying. All I'm saying. And the last 90 overall starting lineup, I don't need to help them at all. The S tier, the last S tier operator that I would take to a club, that I would not have to help out with at all, is Buck. Now, this might seem like an out of left field pick, right? Let me tell you something. I'm sponsored by a brand called Control, right? This isn't me doing a sponsorship bill for them. This is genuine. I have something called a black ice cookie, okay? I'm gonna full screen so y'all can see this. I want you to look at this man's face. Enough said. Enough said. Anyways, chat, let's keep it going. I'm gonna go ahead and put Amaru in the old head section. Just because she's a granny, bro. Like, I don't really know the lore there either, but she's just a granny, and like I said, this is the old head section, so I had to put her there. Are there any other old heads that I can just throw in that category right quick? Not really, to be honest. No, I think we're actually kind of solid. Somebody that you might be thinking is an old head that I should throw in there is Smoke. But on the contrary, I kind of actually think Smoke could get rizzy with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, he's definitely not as old as somebody like Thatcher or Sledge, right? He's not as young as somebody like Mute, though. I will say, though, when he got face revealed with his elite skin, he's got the hair. I don't know what to tell you, man. There's some people that just have RIZZ. Like, the elite animation, too, you can kind of just tell that he's a confident person, right? And I feel like confidence goes so far in the RIZZ game and the science of RIZZ. Again, that I am a professor of, by the way. You see the glasses, yes, sir. Anyways. So, I think a solid B tier is completely fair on my end. Now, again, going back to some of the more nerdier picks, I think Yana definitely deserves a D tier spot. She's an astronaut, space nerd, right? Albino, probably didn't socialize much and got bullied as a kid because of that fact. Not trying to dog on her at all, by the way. That's probably just what happened. So, definitely underdeveloped social skills for sure. And because of that, she doesn't really have any RIZZ. Again, I'm not trying to go off of looks here. I'm really just trying to go, like, how much would I have to help them pull somebody else? I think I'd have to help Yana quite a bit to be able to do anything, because she just seems like she'd be, like, socially awkward, right? Like, maybe that's just me. Somebody who definitely is fucking socially awkward, though. is Vigil, and he is a lot more socially awkward than anybody in the D tier. I'm not gonna put him down in like the aggressive, like doesn't flirt with anybody, does not want a relationship category of F tier. But Vigil's whole thing is that like his parents were murdered and he doesn't talk or trust to anyone at all, and he's just like a stone cold machine unit of a soldier. And he's like that with everybody he meets, right? So I definitely don't think that like he's that much more redeemable. Or he's a fucking masterclass and you just don't know it until you see it, and I feel like there's no in between. But until I see it, until he has any actual quantifiable feats, I'm gonna have to put him in the E tier. Next up would be Oryx. I think Oryx is kind of in the same boat as Vigil, where their life is just too fucked up to have developed any sort of social skills at all. Therefore, Oryx needs to go in the E tier. Now, somebody who I think is a pretty underrated pick as opposed to overrated. My TV just turned on, what the fuck? Would be Doc. Doc, I think, I don't know. He's got that French blood in him. What can I say, man? What can I say? The hair, I think he's got good hair. I think he's got a good face. I think because of that, he would have confidence and be able to not need as much help on the two-man mission when I'm being his wingman. I've also, you've seen the animations and the lore leaks with this operator. He just seems like he's confident. He's got his own thing going on, and that's something that you gotta respect about Doc, even if he's a little bit older. You gotta understand, half the motherfuckers on this list are at least 40 plus, so you can't really use age as a quantifiable metric when measuring RIZZ. Because I know people like my dad. He has more RIZZ than I do. The motherfucker's 39. Listen, that's all I'm saying. Anyways, moving on to the next operator. Let's go over Callie. Callie just kind of seems like she's in the same category as Ash, where she just has too much pride and would not fuck with anybody. It doesn't seem as bad, though. She has more of like a calculated kind of anger, whereas Ash is just like a crash out dummy. Like she just like an OG crash out. So I'll move her up a tier, but I'm not going to move her any higher than that for the sake of the tier list. Let's go over some more kind of middle average picks. Ella seems like she's a crash out, but she only does it in a rebellious way, not in like a I don't like anybody because I'm weird and my name is Ash kind of way. So I don't really know where to place her, but I don't think she's an old head. I don't think she's really a nerd. She's kind of like the whole like artist thing, right? So she's probably the opposite of a nerd. So I'll put her in a B tier for now. Mira, honestly a B tier as well. Mira is good at socializing, and you know that because in Rainbow Six lore, she just fucking knows everybody, and she's cool with everybody. She's got no beef. Even, like, Osa, who was supposedly her rival that moved to Nighthaven Labs, wants her back and just wants to be friends with her. So she's just a really friendly person, and I think if I were to try to help her get somebody, that would really get her foot in the door. But when we're talking about somebody with just pure fucking RIZZ, right? I mean, it does not really get much better than my boy Castle. I feel like my boy Castle has something when it comes to RIZZ that not a lot of other operators have that I've talked about thus far on this list. And that is being funny. I feel like Castle is like Dream Blunt rotation almost. Like he's just a funny fucking dude all of the time. He's animated, he's loud. Like I just feel like he'd be a fun dude. And that like humor, for any of my guys watching that need help, humor is such a good way to get in the door. And I feel like Castle's got that. He's got it under the bag. He also was a D1 baseball player at some point, right? He's not going to need my fucking help. S tier. Easy. Somebody who might need a little bit more help, but I think would still be okay, would be Glaz. I think Glaz... I don't know why I get this vibe from Glaz. Maybe this is just me. But Glaz seems like the type of person that would have such good RIZZ, but he just, like, makes awkward jokes that don't land, and he scares the hoes, if that makes sense. I don't know why I get that vibe from him, but he just seems like a mood killer that has so much potential but doesn't know how to use it. If he learned how to use it, for sure. But until then, and until I see any quantifiable feats, from his RIZZ that I can maybe put him higher for, he's gonna have to stay in the A tier for me. One person I forgot about is Jaeger. Gonna have to put Jaeger in the D tier. He is literally one of the biggest nerds in Team Rainbow. He's like autistic for how much of a nerd he like he's literally medically has autism for how much of a nerd he is. That's why he was able to create the ADS. If you didn't know, on Hereford, the planes were actually designed and built by him. So all I see him doing is working and designing shit on blueprints all day, every single day. So I kind of don't know. I might move him up to a tier because he does seem like he's confident, you know? So maybe, yeah, I'll move him up. He does seem confident, does he? He might have what I have, which is just autism Riz, for sure. Anyways, next person, Legion. Legion, you might be inclined to throw in the old head section, but I can tell by the fits that Legion throws on, this man goes thrifting, and I think because of that, he has less of an old head personality. He honestly seems like a guy that's in his 20s, like mentally, but physically he's like, what, in his 50s, 40s, somewhere around there, right? So I low-key feel like he would be a vibe. Like, I low-key feel like he would be a vibe. You just gotta know him. Like, he's real quiet unless you know him for real. He's a real chill dude, chill-ass dude, but if you know him type shit. This is what I do for a living. Oh my god. Anyways, next up, we gotta talk about my boy Blitz. Blitz, he's kind of the life of the party. I mean, anybody who is the life of the party, even if it's because they're overcompensating or whatever it may be, is still gonna be good at socializing, which means they have good Riz, because Riz just means charisma. So it, A tier, solid choice. I don't think I really need to explain myself on that one. The same can probably be said for Dokkaebi. I'm going to put Dokkaebi in the B tier. The reason I'm putting Dokkaebi in the B tier is because it was said in her operator profile that her confident sort of like persona that she puts on is completely fake because she's insecure. But I think if you're talking about RIZZ is really just to get your foot in the door. They don't need to know your whole life stories, your insecurities. So I think the charisma is still there, but anybody that's good will be able to see right through that. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, and that's why I couldn't put her any higher than B. Alibi, I just don't know enough about her. Same kind of thing with Brava and Twitch. They don't seem like they're as much of nerds as like the D tier. They don't seem like they're old heads as much either in the C tier, but they definitely don't have as much Riz as A or S tier. So just gonna have to throw them in the B tier for lack of knowledge, to be completely honest. Azami. Ooh. I'll come back to Azami later. First, let's do Thorn. Thorn is the exact same as Ash, except she's just a little bit more annoying of how much she has pride in herself. Absolutely zero Riz at all. Has the same problem as Finka, as like, when I look at you and talk to you for one sentence, I just know I don't want to be around you if I want my blood pressure to stay at a non-diabetic level. Next up, okay, that was insane. Next up is going to be Cav. Cav is a D1 crash out. Gonna have to put her in F. Who else are just D1 crash outs that I can just go ahead and put in F? Actually, I think I got them all out of the way. Yeah, wow, I got them all out of the way. Capitao. Capitao is somebody I want to talk about. Capitao is an old head, right? But also Capitao was a soccer player, and he's got a little bit of Riz. He's got the cigar thing going that Maestro does. So low-key, I honestly want to put Capitao in A tier. He may be old, but so is Cade, so is Maestro, so is Warden, so is Tachanka. We don't care about age if you've got it going on. And he's got it going on. All I'm going to say. He's got it going on. What just fell? Gridlock. Y'all may be quick to say F tier, right? Y'all might be quick to say F tier. Here's the thing, though. To be honest, the funniest people I know are heavyset people, right? And like I said, with Castle, humor can get you in the door. So I low-key think, like Gridlock might be like kind of an old head, right? So I don't think she's F, bro. People immediately assume that you have no Riz because of your looks, but I low-key think the uglier you are, the more Riz you have, because you're kind of forced to have it if you want to be able to get anything. So I mean, and she never like is like Ash or Cav or Clash as like a D1 crash out. Like, I've never seen her angry before. If anything, the opening to when we saw her revealed as an operator was her with a beer in hand next to Mozzie in a lawn chair, just looking at a view. So she seems chill. Low-key, I might put her in C. She's an old head, right? She is pretty fucking old. She's definitely an old head. So I can put her in the old head category. I just don't want people thinking that I'm putting her in F for any, like, other reason. I low-key think she's got the old head RIZZ. Nomad low-key seems like a nerd, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm putting her in D. Solus, same exact thing. Fenrir does seem like a nerd, but Fenrir also seems like he can chill, low-key. He does seem like he can chill. So I'll put Fen in B. I'll put Fenrir in B. Let's go over Azami. Azami's whole thing is that, like, the person she was working for died and now she's seeking revenge type shit, so she's not really on, like, a casual mental state. But, like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, to be real. That's kind of where I'm at. But I do think she would have a little bit of RIZZ. I'll stick her in B. I'll stick her in low B. By the way, none of these operators are, like, ordered in their respective tiers. I'm just throwing them in there. But I will put her in low B to C range. Ying. I wish I knew any lore about Ying, but unfortunately I really, really do not. So for lack of information, I'm going to go ahead and put her in B. Aruni. This is a hard one to rank. You're missing an arm. You're missing half your face. But from what I saw in the cinematic, she came back more charismatic than before Thermite blew her up on accident. Which is kind of the same thing for, like, Gridlock, where it's like, honestly, and I won't say uglier you are, but the more physically disadvantageous you are, the more you're kind of forced to gain a personality to make up for that fact. I mean, I'm a ginger. I know. So, you know, I low-key probably a C tier pick, to be real. I don't want to put her any higher, though. I haven't seen any feats. IQ, low-key seems like a nerd, but she has the kickboxing thing, so I don't know that she's a nerd. Her whole thing is, like, spotting gadgets, though. Yeah, she's a nerd. Sens, low-key. Sens has got the music thing going. Sens low-key has aura. Sens is, like, constantly just, like, confident all the time. The mohawk. I mean, as much as motherfuckers want to hate Sens, low-key want to put him in, like, A tier. Honestly. Sens has kind of got that shit on. Mozzie. Mozzie is old. The motherfucker's got wrinkles all over his face. He did not use moisturizer when he was earlier in life. But he is funnier than a motherfucker, so I don't think his age really matters. I think he's in the same boat as, like, Capitao, where the humor and the personality is just gonna get him straight through the door. Thunderbird. I don't know. B, I guess. Valkyrie, low-key seems a tad bit aggressive like Callie, but not quite a crash out. So I'll put her in E. Zofia, absolutely zero RIZZ. Absolutely zero fucking RIZZ. Absolutely zero. Not a crash out, not the opposite of RIZZ, but just low amounts of RIZZ. There's none really radiating from her really at all. Her elite animations kind of prove that with the rifle spin. I don't know, just absolutely negative aura. Echo, oh my god. If I were a girl, I'd be dropping the panties for Echo. All I'm saying. That's insane. That's crazy. That is an insane thing to say and upload. Wow, alright. Oh, my girlfriend is gonna get mad at me for this video. Capcan. I low-key think, where it's like Glaz, where I low-key think Capcan would have RIZZ. Something about the Russian dudes, they just radiate aura at all times. Like, am I wrong? They just radiate aura at all times. Low-key, I think Capcan would have RIZZ. the accent too, you know what I'm saying? He's got humor, he's got jokes, he's got experience in battle, war stories that he could tell, you know what I'm saying? Gotta think outside the box. Anyways, Goyo, low-key, I think Goyo is an underrated pick. He might have an overall of 70 in terms of feats as a player, but I do think he gets rebounds like a motherfucker, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him in B. Underrated pick. I think Goyo could be a star player, MVP, Hall of Famer if Goyo tried. I really do think that. I think Goyo is a sleeper pick. He may not have been first draft, but he's up there for sure. Osa, absolutely zero RIZZ. Just in the nerd category, really. Malusi, same kind of deal, to be completely honest. Who else? Ram. I think Ram is shy, but I do think that she could have RIZZ if she wanted to. Nah, she just seems shy. Again, we're not going off of any attractiveness or anything. It's like, if I'm having to help this person try on a two-man to get somebody for them at the end of the night, I would still have to help Ram. I really would. I think B tier is the highest I can put her, realistically. Same thing with Frost. I know I'd have to help Frost. I know I would. Somebody who I don't think I would have to help at all, though, is actually Maverick. I think Maverick is a solid A tier. Again, war stories, the tattoos, the confidence, the personality. Really, I think Maverick's got it all. You could honestly make an argument for S, but the thing about people in S is people who are in S tier are genuinely to themselves. They are genuinely just like, you ever hear the term like, oh, you're just gonna be yourself? It really only works if you are confident. Like, you're very confident. These motherfuckers are themselves, and that's what makes them confident. Maverick seems low-key like he would have RIZZ, but he's not like confident like a Warden. Like a Warden just like radiates RIZZ like a fucking fountain, dude. It's insane. Maverick's not really to that level. Maybe he just needs Asian experience. I don't know. But Maverick's got to be a solid A tier for me, for sure, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and say Flores. I mean, Flores has history because he's got a boyfriend, right? So, solid B tier. Flores, love him, I hate him. He's got fucking drip, bro. The glasses, the patterned clothes, the nice shoes. I will say, I think Flores does have drip. He's got the personality. He's got a track record. You know, he's got quantifiable feats. Solid B tier. Honestly, you could make a case for A tier. You might be able to. But nah, compared to like Blackbeard and Thermite, nah. I'll put Flores in B. For sure, for sure. Fuse. It's something about the Russians, bro. They just radiate aura. I gotta put him in the same reason as Capcan. I can't explain it. If you asked me to explain it, I couldn't. It's totally a biased answer. I don't know. It is what it is, dude. Russians just radiate aura. I have no fucking clue. Maybe it's the stench of vodka on them at all times, but who knows. Rook. A tier. You know why? Time for some serious protection. That's why. I could just see him doing that and pulling baddies left and right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell me I'm not spitting. Okay. Last two. Monty. Monty's a hard one to rank. He's got aura. He's got aura. If you've played against Monty at all this season, you know he's got aura. Don't sleep on the Monty. Jackal, low-key, F tier. His obsession with feet would weird out all the hoes. Sorry, man. Sorry. Anyways, my name's Alka. Check out this next video, and I hope I will see you there later.